morning, everybody. It's been a fascinating morning with the inaugural and the remarkable expanse of subjects that were covered, both connected with artificial intelligence and education, and indeed not that directly connected. But obviously, wherever you have the Indian Army, you have to cede space to it, and that was done wonderfully well this morning. Now we are back to session one, which is the main substantive session after the inauguration, but we are obviously competing with cups of coffee, and I imagine the coffee is a stronger draw for a while, but then people will come back gradually. We don't want to lose time. We've already lost a lot of time, and I would request the organizers to just indicate that the coffee will be served at the round tables so that we can proceed with our first session, and that's shaping the world order through education. Well, I thought that is such an obvious thing, but saying education would then provide the expanse and the platforms and indeed the entire canvas for more specific discussions that will come in the afternoon, where the artificial intelligence revolution and sustainable development goals will be discussed. I think we may want to get more familiar with some of these new ideas which have been placed before us earlier in the day. But on education, I think everybody is fairly familiar. Education is the most fundamental thing about a human being. Our own self-esteem, our own idea of ourselves, our idea of the world around us, our communications, our relationships, our sensibilities, our character, our culture, our process of learning by watching, by experience, etc., all are part of education. And that's why distinctions are made between informal education and formal education. And I assume that we would be, and all our colleagues who are here would be concentrating on formal education, although informal education is also very, very critical. I think much of what Mr. Alphonse said this morning regarding education and development of human personality had an ingredient of informal education. As far as I know, that there are top educational minds that since independence in this country who have weaved together informal and formal. Jamia Millia Islamia was one such example. The Gurukuls are another such example. What Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore did was a very specific example of how informal education and imbibing from what you see around yourself, indeed from nature, becomes part of your personality development. But we all know that in the practical world, formal education is very important, very significant. Perhaps it is inevitable, and indeed it is indispensable. And therefore, I imagine some of that we will get a chance to see. Now, we have three very, very distinguished speakers this morning. And as I said, that you have to concede space to the Army. The first speaker is indeed from the Army, and that's Lieutenant General Sunil Srivastava. Very impressive decorations, AVSM, VSM, who has been Director, Center for the Joint Warfare Studies of India's Ministry of Defense. And we will kick off this session with the presentation by the first speaker, Lieutenant General Sunil Srivastava. The floor is yours, General.